Now I will yield to Mr. Reschenthaler.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I appreciate it. Madam Ambassador, thanks for being here today, and thanks for all your hard work. I'd like to focus on the World Health Organization to start off. The World Health Organization was founded, and I'm quoting directly, quote, "give everyone, everywhere, an equal chance to live a healthy life," end quote. Great goal and mission. But I think it's irrefutable that that mission has morphed into kowtowing to communist China, parroting the talking points that are given to it by the CCP. And if you look at the beginning of the pandemic, the World Health Organization went out of its way to help the CCP cover up the true origins of this virus. Most recently, despite overwhelming international support, you had the World Health Organization deny Taiwan observer status in this year's annual assembly due to pressure, obviously, from communist China. And just a quick shout out to Taiwan. They're the first nation. Those scientists were the first ones to correctly identify this human-to-human transmission, not this conspiracy theory that the CCP and the World Health Organization were parroting, that this was a zoonotic disease that transmitted, obviously, from animals to humans. So, Madam Ambassador, do you oppose the World Health Organization's decision to deny Taiwan observer status?
Absolutely, categorically. We have raised our concerns with the World Health Organization and at the World Health Assembly that Taiwan was not allowed to participate. We think they should be allowed to participate. We think they add value, and we will keep pushing for that in the future until it happens.
Thanks for those efforts. And what about the malign influence that the CCP has over the World Health Organization? Because I still think the World Health Organization has a valid mission and purpose if we could just stop the influence from communist China. Do you have any thoughts on that?
I do, and thank you for raising that. We need to push back on the Chinese malign efforts in the World Health Organization. That's one of the reasons we wanted to make sure that we were back at the table, and we've been a leading voice in that organization calling for reform in the organization, but also pushing back against the influence that the Chinese have had, particularly as it relates recently to the origins of COVID. And we're pressing the Chinese government itself and the CCP to respond to the WHO request on the origins issue. I agree with you, sir. The World Health Organization does have an important role to play. We need to be there and be a leading voice in pushing for the reforms to allow them to improve on their current performance.
Thank you, Madam Ambassador. And I just wanted to continue speaking about China. As you know, Michelle Bachelet, who's the UN High Commissioner for Human Rights, recently visited Communist China. And as you know, Communist China is actively involved in what I would describe egregious human rights violations. The oppression of Hong Kong, which should, by international law, be a free and independent city-state, part of the British Commonwealth, the religious persecution in Tibet, the ongoing genocide in the Xinjiang province. But after this visit, which Beijing highly restricted, the commissioner refused to condemn the genocide of the Uyghur Muslims. Ambassador, after witnessing the UN's just utter indifference to this genocide and to the other egregious actions from Tibet to Hong Kong to elsewhere, what are we doing to hold China accountable and push back on these human rights and political violations?
First, Congressman, we strongly and publicly oppose the High Commissioner's visit to China. We knew that it would not be unfettered. We knew that she could not come out of that visit with a transparent report that would provide us all of the evidence of the genocide that we know is taking place in China. For our part, we regularly expose this in the Security Council. We've held a number of meetings with our British colleagues and others to call out the Chinese on this issue. I regularly meet with Uyghurs whose family members have been held unfairly by the Chinese government and have raised those concerns directly with the Chinese government myself. And we will keep pushing on these efforts. We saw the report that the High Commissioner put out. None of us, in the U.S. as well as others, none of us were satisfied with that report. We've called for her to issue the report that was done previously that we know outlines the concerns that we've all raised.
Thank you, Madam Ambassador, and thank you, Madam Chair. I yield back.